He could not reveal that he knew how to refine pills, which puzzled Xianxia. Pill refining should be a good technique here, but why not? Why? Xianxia asked. If Dragon Elephant School knew that I know how to refine pills, he might give me a better treatment. The treatment may be good, but there are also some bad aspects. That is, they might close your eyes to refine pills, hindering your cultivation. Xiao Xianglin said, this kind of thing has happened before. A middle-stage world-defying stage divine rank cultivator was forced to continuously refine pills day and night. There's such a thing. Chunxiang looked at Xianger and Yuer, and they all nodded. But it did not happen in the Dragon Elephant School, but in the Tsang Soul sect. In the end, it was said that the alchemist could not take it any longer and found a good opportunity to self-destruct, killing a large group of good seedlings from the Tsang Soul sect and causing great losses for the Tsang Soul sect. Hearing Xiao Xianglin's words, Chunxiang laughed. This is too satisfying. If it was me, I would do the same. Xiao Xianglin warned Chunxiang once again. So you must remember, at that time, don't speak carelessly, because you are temporarily a person without power or influence, and in the sect your value will only be infinitely squeezed. They won't tell. Chunxiang looked at the two female slaves. We are very loyal to Big Sister. If she doesn't let us speak, we won't speak even if we die. Xianger said, and Yuer nodded. Of course, you can find a way to secretly sell this pill. Xiao Xianglin said, wait until you familiarize yourself with this Tao creation place. Then you will know how to sell it. Chunxiang took out a piece of Crystal Emperor and passed it to Xiao Xianglin. Big Sister Xiao, take a look at this piece of Crystal Emperor, and see what's different about this piece of Crystal Emperor. The Crystal Emperor was considered to be rather precious here. Xiao Xianglin had naturally seen it before. She just did not understand why Chunxiang wanted to show her the Crystal Emperor. After Xiao Xianglin received it, he looked at it carefully and revealed a look of shock. Big Sister, what's wrong? Xianger was also shocked by Xiao Xianglin's reaction and anxiously asked, This is a human blood Crystal Emperor. Xiao Xianglin took a deep breath, frowned and looked at Chunxiang. Where did you get this? Xiao Xianglin's face was extremely solemn upon hearing the 4 words, human blood Crystal Emperor. Xianger and Yuer were so frightened that their faces turned pale. This seemed to be an extremely terrifying thing. Tell me what exactly is going on with this human Crystal Emperor. Chunxiang could guess that this Crystal Emperor that wasn't formed naturally was a beast. This was because Gutong and the super young old ancestor were both here, and they were people who knew how to refine Crystal Emperor. They must have refined a large number of Crystal Emperor before, which resulted in the Tao creation place becoming unbalanced. This was only because Su Meiyao reminded him. That's why he took out a piece of Crystal Emperor to appraise for Xiao Xianglin. Legend has it that there is a secret method that can refine Crystal Emperor as long as a large amount of human blood and myriad Tao divine soil crystals are mixed together. This kind of Crystal Emperor looked normal on the surface, but it could be used to refine weapons. But if it is used for cultivation, it will cause one's cultivation to go berserk, and the person who uses this kind of Crystal Emperor will turn into a demon. Xiao Xianglin said in fear, This kind of Crystal Emperor is forbidden to circulate. The moment someone uses it or possesses it, the various sects will definitely investigate it to the end, find the source, and then publicly execute the person who refined the human blood Crystal Emperor. Yuer said, Chunxiang, you better not use it everywhere. This is very serious. Where on earth did you get it? This piece of Crystal Emperor was formed by the young girl Danling, and was basically not some human blood Crystal Emperor. It was just that the sects were worried that someone would refine a large amount of this Crystal Emperor, and then use this kind of Crystal Emperor to dominate a region, which was why they boycotted it. Chunxiang felt that they might have already existed on a large scale before Super Young Old Ancestor and Gutong had arrived here. I refined it. Chunxiang curled his lips. What? Xiao Xianglin and the 2 female slaves cried out. It's not refined with human blood. It's refined directly using the myriad Tao divine soil crystals. Chunxiang scoffed. Just think about it, and you will understand why those sects are resisting it. Is this true? Xiao Xianglin did not dare believe that he could refine it using the myriad Tao divine soil crystal. Of course it's true. If you don't believe me, give me some myriad Tao divine soil crystals and I will refine them for you. After all, it will take some time to get to Dragon Elephant School. Xianxia said. How much do you need? Xianxia immediately took out a large pile. She was a refiner and was extremely interested in this kind of thing. Xianxia asked for more than 1,000 kilograms. Then he took out the Tianchuang furnace and let Xianxia and the others inspect it. After they finished inspecting him, Xiang began to refine them. He was now in the late stage of Aoshi Holy Stage and had leveled up in all aspects. In just a few days he had successfully refined it, but because he was in a hurry, the quality of the Crystal Emperor he had refined was rather poor. If you give me a few more days, I might be able to refine something of good quality. Xianxia said, Now you all should believe it, right? It's just that this kind of Crystal Emperor is banned. Otherwise I would definitely be very rich. Xianxia and the others saw it with their own eyes. How could they not believe it? They really did not think that such a legendary human blood Crystal Emperor would actually exist in such a secret. Crystal Emperors were important materials for equipment forging, so Xianxia was lacking them. However, Xianxia being able to use myriad Tao divine soil crystals to refine Crystal Emperors shocked her greatly. I wonder if the divine weapons refined from these Crystal Emperor will be discovered? Xianxia said as he frowned. Yes, there is an obvious difference between this kind of Crystal Emperor and natural Crystal Emperor. Xianxia sighed. So even if it is used to refine divine weapons and is discovered after selling it, it will be extremely troublesome and can only be used by oneself. Wu'er said, Xianxia, you shouldn't speak carelessly about this sort of thing. It will bring about a great disaster. Xianxia and the other two felt that Xianxia was a hot topic in arms. But Xianxia's abilities made them admire him greatly, and they could see his future. I know. When I was at a certain place, I encountered something like this. Xianxia laughed. I'm already used to it. Why don't I use it myself? The dragon elephant had already landed on the ground. Xianxia shouted lightly, We're already at the Dragon Elephant School. Before Xianxia got off the car, he warned Xianxia not to speak nonsense and left everything to her. There were two huge golden dragon elephants standing at the entrance of Dragon Elephant School. They were mighty and domineering, and the dragon subduing school was as huge as a palace. There was also a main hall or something like the Tao Creation School. Xianxia was a main hall disciple, and her parents were both high-ranking in Dragon Elephant School. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to get 8 dragon elephants to pull the carriage. Thailand's most popular female anchorwoman knew love video exposure down the male host. The Dragon Elephant School was very big, but Xianxia did not drive the carriage inside, because no matter who it was, they would only be able to walk, which was very time-consuming. The three of them brought Xianxia to a hall that was specially made for accepting disciples. There were a few elderly people and more than 10 palace main disciples there. Xianxia and the other two had extremely beautiful appearances, and together again, they were extremely eye-catching. As soon as they entered, they attracted many gazes, causing Xianxia, who was following them, to be ignored. Xianglin, did you come to the Hall of Disciples to introduce disciples? An old man laughed and asked. Yes, sir. Xianglin pulled Xianxia out from the back and said, It's him. I want to recommend him to join Dragon Elephant School. Xianxia's world-defying Holy Soul Chi was only at the late stage of Aoshi Holy Stage, so he could immediately tell that he was at the late stage of Aoshi Holy Stage. And the other dozens of Palace main disciples that were prepared to be recommended were all from the world-defying stage divine rank. Xiangluan, you're not young anymore. Stop playing around. He is from the late stage of Aoshi Holy Stage. The old man said. The other elders started to speak as well, while the dozens of Palace main disciples looked at Xianxia with faces full of disdain. Xianglin, you are too bored. We Dragon Elephant School are not trash. From the looks of her identity, she should be a Palace main disciples. Xianglin was a little angry and said, I brought in my disciple. What does this have to do with you? The disciple you recommended isn't much. Wasn't he just a popinjay? It's all built up from the resources of the family. and it's a piece of trash who can't even beat my slave girl. You! Do you want to fight? The flirtatious palace main disciples said angrily. I'll just fight. No one is afraid of me. Xiao Xianglin gave Xiang'er a meaningful glance, and Xiang'er stood up. All of you over to the side. This is the Hall of Disciples. They are in charge of receiving disciples. An old man immediately shouted to stop them. Xiao Xianglin, stop messing around. Let's go. A man mocked. The disciple you have recommended is indeed not very good. Everyone can see that you are not blind. Can't you tell? This kid does have a good set of skin. He looks pretty good. But what's the use? It's only at the late stage of Aoshi Holy Stage, at least to reach the world-defying stage divine rank. The bewitching woman laughed coldly. Xiao Xianglin, you can't have fallen for this kid, right? Aren't your standards too low? Ha! All of you shut up. What does the person that I have recommended have to do with you? Whatever the consequences will be, it's still my own business. What nonsense are you guys blabbering about? If you want to say another word, I'm not done with you, believe it or not. Xiao Xianglin was immediately angered. She couldn't stand these people mocking and ridiculing her, because from the sound of it, all of these words were targeted at her. Chun Xiang had been silent the entire time, because Xiao Xianglin had instructed him to not speak a word. All right. Since you like to cause trouble, then I'll let you do it. The old man was also helpless and said, however, if no one accepts him as their disciple, he cannot join the Dragon Elephant School. You should know that, with his current cultivation level, the elders will definitely not even think highly of him. If the elders don't accept him as their disciple, I can take him, right? I am a disciple of the palace main disciples. Xiao Xianglin said. If you accept him as your disciple, you will have to be responsible for guiding him in the future. You will lose the right to be recommended in the future. The old man said. I know the rules very well. Xiao Xianglin said impatiently. Very quickly, Xiao Xianglin finished registering, and she was the one who cut in line. After all, she was the big sister, and although she was short and delicate, she was extremely domineering, making everyone who saw her a little afraid. They were all here to take in disciples. If they could cultivate a good disciple to bring honor to the Dragon Elephant School, they would also receive rewards, and their disciples were powerful, they would gain honor as masters. When the more than 10 young palace main disciples saw the expressions of disdain from the elders, they looked at Xiao Xianglin with faces full of ridicule. Who's so bored? Actually brought in someone from the late stage of Aoshi Holy Stage. That's right. It's Xiang Lai who recommended it. Girl, you're too naughty. Xiang Luan, what's wrong with you? You'll be disqualified from being recommended, and your parents won't be able to help you then. Xiao Xianglin scoffed. You guys care about it? Quickly go and choose your precious disciples. The person I have recommended, do you want him or not? Xiang Luan, you must have been tricked by him. Don't just look at how handsome this brat is. An elder kindly advised Xiao Xianglin, because it was still possible for her to give up now. In short, these elders and old palace main disciples all despised Qin Xiang and didn't even look at him, so they definitely wouldn't choose him. Xiang Luan, no one has chosen Qin Xiang as their disciple. According to the rules of the Dragon Elephant School, he cannot enter the Dragon Elephant School. The old man in charge of accepting disciples said. They don't want it, I want it. I said it before. I can be his master, right? Xiao Xianglin pouted. She knew how powerful Qin Xiang was. Just by knowing how to refine Crystal Emperor, he could kill all the other disciples instantly. Chun Xiang was against it in his heart, because he did not want to be this girl's disciple. However, Xiao Xianglin was very happy in her heart, because she was about to become Chun Xiang's master. Of course, Chun Xiang had several masters, but they were only at a disadvantage in terms of seniority. He could at least get a lot of benefits from his master, so if Chun Xiang took it in now, he would at most get Xiao Xianglin out of her body. All right, then let's begin the ceremony for the inheritance of the Dragon and Elephant Holy Soul. An old man took out more than 10 beads. What a pity, to waste a Dragon Elephant Holy Soul on such a fellow. That's right. Xiao Xianglin is really messing around. The other palace main disciples spoke out to provoke the elders. The dragon and elephant holy soul were the dragon elephant school's precious resources. They felt that it would be extremely wasteful to obtain it from Xianxia. Now, one by one, the disciples that had just entered the school would touch the bead and it would split open. Then, a small dragon or elephant would appear. "Isn't it the dragon and elephant Holy Spirit?" Xianxia said in a low voice. "Why is there only a dragon or elephant? That would require me to cultivate a dragon elephant later on. This is just a basic step. The process is the most important." Xiao Xianglin explained in a low voice. Xianxia nodded. "Very good. These disciples are all fusing together very quickly. Good seedlings." The old man laughed, but when he saw Xianxia, his face darkened, but he still wanted to give the pearl to Xianxia. When Xianxia touched the bead did not shatter. It was unlike the 10 over disciples. "Ha ha! This guy is too weak. Even the dragon elephant holy soul couldn't be bothered with him. It should be like that. Xiao Xianglin, you saw it right?" The bewitching disciple laughed in an extremely complacent manner. As for the elders in charge of the Hall of Disciples, they were already old men and elders. They had a different reaction because they were well aware of just what this meant. Xiao Xianglin himself never thought that Xianxia would actually have a dragon madness soul. This meant that it was very rare for Xianxia to be able to cultivate from the dragon madness soul to the dragon soul. Vertex novels. The other disciples were all at the late stage of fusion with the dragon and elephant holy souls, and these dragon and elephant holy souls were all semi-disabled, far from being as good as the natural dragon and elephant holy souls. Xianxia had the dragon soul, so it was very possible that he had already cultivated a world-defying holy dragon. If that was really the case, then cultivating their dragon elephant divine art again would have a good effect. Xiao Xianglin was extremely happy, but Xianxia was a little regretful. He felt that the dragon and elephant holy spirit inside the pearl were good things, but he was unable to fuse them into his own body now that he possessed the dragon soul. He felt that this was a great loss to him. "Xianxia, you are my disciple now." Xiao Xianglin patted Xianxia's shoulders. Looking extremely pleased, "Hurry and call me master." "Master!" Xianxia shouted unwillingly. The bewitching woman was jealous to death, because even for palace main disciples like her, there were not many people who possessed a natural dragon soul. It was extremely hard to obtain a natural dragon soul, and what they obtained were all split out of the dragon and elephant holy souls cultivated by the dragon elephant school, and all of them were acquired dragon and elephant holy souls. The people who looked down on Xianxia earlier all had awkward expressions now, because they had misjudged him. Although Xianxia was only at the late stage of Aoshi holy stage, his eternally naturally born dragon soul was extremely sought after no matter what sect he was in. There's nothing to be proud of. Let's wait for him to become a world-defying holy dragon first. He is already a Aoshi holy stage, but he hasn't cultivated the dragon soul yet. It's most likely because the quality of his dragon soul is not good. A man said in a sour tone. The palace main disciples all nodded their heads, because they could not feel the dragon aura on Xianxia's body. They were all dragon elephant school so they were extremely sensitive to this kind of aura. Xiao Xianglin also felt that it was strange because generally speaking with a dragon god soul, as long as one stepped into the Aoshi holy stage, they would be able to cultivate a world-defying holy dragon, and in the worst-case scenario, they would be able to cultivate until the middle stage of Aoshi holy stage. But now, Xianxia was already at the late stage of Aoshi holy stage. "I finished cultivating it," Xianxia said indifferently. These seemed to be the first words he had said since entering. They knew very well what cultivating a world-defying holy dragon meant. If they were to grow up in the future, they might even surpass them by a long margin. And when they had mocked and ridiculed Xianxia previously, they had already formed a connection with him. "Then why can't I sense your dragon aura?" Xiao Xianglin was extremely suspicious. She and Xianxia had been together for quite a few days, especially the few days they were together in the carriage. She couldn't feel a single thing. "I used a secret technique to hide it, because I heard that there is a dragon controlling palace here that specializes in stealing other people's world-defying holy dragon," Xianxia said. The reason he chose to join the Dragon Elephant School was also to avoid it in the future. Even if he used the power of Red Fire Dragon later, the dragon controlling palace couldn't do anything to him. What technique is this? One of the clan elders was very curious, because very few people could avoid the dragon controlling gods' pursuit. The techniques cannot be spread out. Xianxia's one sentence left the elder speechless. Even if the other party wanted to say something, it would be to tell his own master first. Rolled his eyes in satisfaction. Just now, these elders had treated Xianxia as trash and despised him a lot. But after knowing that Xianxia possessed the dragon god's soul, they came up to curry favor with him. The ceremony of accepting a disciple has finally been completed. Xianxia said impatiently, "Hurry up and send the thing." The elder in charge also secretly cursed himself for making such a mistake. If this matter were to be spread out, he would definitely become a laughingstock. They, as well as the other old fellows, admired Xianxia a lot because he had just been treated with such contempt and did not reveal any displeased expressions. Xianxia acquired a Dragon Elephant School identity badge, then a few sets of clothes, a divine sword that was refined using a Crystal Emperor, and lastly a small piece of Crystal Emperor of ordinary quality. This piece of Crystal Emperor was only as big as a walnut. To Xianxia this was pitifully small, but no matter how small the mosquito leg was, it was still meat. In fact, the things distributed to the disciples were pretty good for many people. After all, they had just entered the Dragon Elephant School, and already had such a reward. If they performed well in the future, they would receive even more. It was obviously because Xianxia brought Xianxia back to her place, and she had to take good care of such a precious disciple. After walking out of the disciples' hall, Xianxia and Yuer saw the displeased expression on Xianxia's face and could not help but laugh, because they knew that Xianxia was extremely unhappy to be Xianxia's disciple. But at that time, there was nothing they could do, so Xianxia could only bite the bullet and accept it. "Don't laugh. Who knows who might be able to make a profit?" Xianxia snorted. "Of course it's for you to earn money. Having such a good master is very rare." Xianxia laughed. "How many people can't even be Big Sister's disciples? You actually picked up a cheap one." "Humph. I just didn't expect things to turn out like this. I'm not ready yet." Xianxia curled his lips. "Disciple, you actually have a dragon soul. This is truly rare. Here, there are not many natural holy dragon souls. Even the fellows from the dragon-controlling palaces have all stolen them from other people. Some of them were even produced by secret techniques, but these kind of holy dragon souls are inferior." Xianxia said, "Master, your disciple is very powerful. I'll definitely let you experience it in the future." Xianxia made a face at Xianxia. Xianxia happily brought Xianxia and the two female slaves back to his own small palace. On the road just now, Xianxia had already known that the palace main disciples had such a small palace. "Where do I live?" Xianxia asked. "You can live wherever you want." Xianxia said, "Pick whatever you want. I will definitely promise you, my precious disciple. I want to live with you." Xianxia grinned. "You said that you will definitely agree to it." Xianxia was startled, then snorted, "No, other than my room. You can choose." Xianxia looked at Xianxia and Luer, and laughed. "Then I'll stay with them. Is that okay?" Luer made a big face towards Xianxia, and said with a smile, "We live together with Big Sister. You can't choose her room." "You actually dare to have ideas about Master?" Xianxia snorted, and hit Xianxia on the head. Xianxia chose a very large secret room as his room, because he probably wanted to let Su Meiyao and the others out of the Yuyao mountain villa. He originally thought that this would be his private space. But who would have thought that Xianxia would so casually barge in with two female slaves? "Hurry up. I'm going to teach you how to cultivate your dragon elephant," Xianxia said. Xianxia felt that when he had to do secret things in the future, he would have to use the 6 realms mirrors to seal this place. However, he felt that it might be useless because Xianxia was a person who refined artifacts. "What a hurry," Xianxia said. "This is what Master should do." Xianxia said, "Xianxia and Luer might be able to help you here. You can learn from their dragon elephant." Xianxia still did not know much about dragons and elephants. What happened to your dragon elephant? I heard that the more dragons and elephants there are, the stronger they are. The strongest guy here is a 9-headed dragon elephant, right? This was what Xianxia had heard from Lu Jiwei. More or less. My head, dragon and elephant were all given to me by my parents. For the time being, they don't need it, so they lent me 4 each to protect me. Xiao Xianglin said. Now I have to return it to them. Xianxia looked at Xiang'er and Yuer. How many dragon elephants have you 2 cultivated? 2, Xiang'er said. It's not easy to cultivate too many dragons and elephants. Afterward, the 2 of them released their dragon elephants. They were both very small and were actually only the size of a tiger. They were far from being as strong and powerful as the one that pulled the carriage that day. So small. Could it be that you intentionally shrunk it? Xianxia walked over and touched it. The dragon elephant's entire body was covered in dragon scales. Its 4 claws were extremely sharp and it had a dragon horn on its head. Its body was that of an elephant and it had a long and powerful nose. We are only at the early stage of world-defying stage divine rank. Even the biggest dragon and elephant are this big. Luer pouted and said, Big Sis is in the middle stage, so she's much bigger than our dragon elephant. Oh right, disciple, why don't you release your dragon for us to see? How big is it? Xiang'er was very curious. Quickly release it, Xiao Xianglin quickly urged. My dragon can be big or small, Xianxia said very seriously. But Xiao Xianglin and the other 2 girls couldn't help but think that Xianxia was talking about something. Seeing the 3 girls look at him with contempt, Xianxia knew that they were thinking of the wrong things and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Be serious, Xiao Xianglin scoffed. I said seriously, your thoughts are impure, your thoughts are wrong. Xianxia said snappily, then released the world-defying green dragon from the 9-fold space. When it was just released, it looked like a little green snake. Just when Xiang'er wanted to reach his hand out to touch it, Xianxia made the world-defying green dragon suddenly grow big. Very quickly, the world-defying green dragon was like a big python, scaring Xiang'er out of his wits. After that, Xianxia made the world-defying green dragon become as thick as a water jar. Gradually, the world-defying green dragon was so big that it couldn't fit inside this large room. This is an azure dragon. Xiao Xianglin was extremely shocked. It was her first time seeing a world-defying holy dragon at such a close distance. And it was even an extremely rare green dragon. Xianxia kept the world-defying green dragon and said, So I have to hide it better. I don't want dragon-controlling gods to know about it. After seeing Xianxia's azure dragon, Xiao Xianglin thoroughly understood why he was so confident in the past, and said that he would be able to kill her in the future. Fortunately, she didn't have any conflict with Xianxia back then, so she was a little afraid just thinking about it. But now, Xianxia was her disciple, making her happier. Now, I will tell you to use this dragon to nurture an elephant soul. You should be able to do it relatively easily. After you give birth to an elephant soul, you can then use the elephant soul to cultivate an elephant spirit. Xiao Xianglin said. Xianxia thought for a while and decided to release his ground-suppressing immortal elephant. This way, he could let his dragon and elephant fuse together. The reason he was able to fuse Red Fire Dragon was all because of the mystical stone slab inside the 6 realms mirrors. However, he couldn't successfully fuse 2 divine beasts alone. He didn't know why either. Master, wait! Xianxia saw Xiao Xianglin take out a book and was about to explain. What is it? Xiao Xianglin asked. Actually, I accidentally stumbled upon an elephant that year. Xianxia replied. I just don't know how to fuse the dragon and elephant. When Xiang'er heard it, he exclaimed, There's actually such a thing. There's no dragon-elephant divine arts from our dragon-elephant school. It's actually able to coexist with the dragon and elephant souls. Xianxia had cultivated this technique many years ago. Wuer said, Then quickly release it for us to see. Is it different from our divine images? Xianxia released his ground-suppressing immortal elephant. He did not know why, but when the ground-suppressing immortal elephant came out, its entire body was releasing white flames, and its entire body was turning white. Although it looked like an extremely beautiful white elephant, its imposing manner was extremely tyrannical. Xianxia and Yuer were so shocked that they retreated a few steps. They thought that the divine elephant Xianxia released was as big as their dragon elephant, but they never thought that it would actually be a 3-meter-tall white elephant. Luckily, the room was relatively high, otherwise it would not be able to fit inside. Ground-suppressing immortal elephant. Xiao Xianglin knew more than the 2 female slaves that this white elephant was not ordinary. Is it really that powerful? Chun Xiang asked. He did not expect Xiao Xianglin to actually be a ground-suppressing immortal elephant. The strongest divine elephant in the legends. When the Tao creation was first born, it was used to suppress the gods of hell and the lands of 10,000 realms. Xiao Xianglin took a few deep breaths and said in surprise, right now, she could skip the steps of cultivating the divine elephant and directly make Chen Xiang start to cultivate the dragon-elephant fusion. Dragon and elephant fused together to control the soul of dragon and elephant to fuse together. You should have tried it before, but it didn't work. The main reason is that you didn't grasp the key technique, and the dragon-elephant godly technique told you how to integrate it. Xiao Xianglin said, the reason why our dragon-elephant divine function can allow a dragon or elephant to fuse together is because we have a type of Tao creation incantation. Tao creation incantation? Chun Xiang frowned. He immediately guessed that the Tao creation's incantation must have a fusion spell inside. If he could control it, it would be even more convenient when refining the pill. Yes. The main group of them is a set of Tao creation incantations called Fusion Spell, which is a secret that our Dragon Elephant School does not divulge to outsiders. Xiao Xianglin said, even I can only learn the 3rd stage. So do we. Xianxia said, if you want to learn more, then you'll need to meet with the elders of Dragon Elephant School and the leader to decide. Your parents will definitely learn more than you. You should look for them to learn from. Chun Xiang said in a low voice. No way. During their studies, they had all signed a blood contract with others. If they were to pass it to others, they would suffer the backlash from the blood contract, so they cannot pass it to me. Xiao Xianglin shook his head. I have already applied, but I did not pass. Oh right, what's the use of learning more fusion spell? Is 3 not enough? Chun Xiang asked. Not enough. In the future, the dragon and elephant would become more and more powerful, allowing them to fuse better. Then, they would need to use more fusion spell. Right now, I can only control 3 fusion spell, so after the dragon and elephant fuse, I can only use 30% of the dragon and elephant's power. Xiao Xianglin said. Chun Xiang secretly pondered whether or not there were any fusion spell in the 9 groups of Tao Creation's incantations inside his Tao Creation's divine crystal. If there was, he would earn a lot, and at that time he would not have to humbly apply. Even though our dragon and elephant fusion is very good, it's not a perfect fusion. Yuer pouted and said, the head dragon and elephant that you saw earlier only fused 60% of them. They haven't been fully integrated. Master, you said that applying to learn more fusion spell should be easier. Why would they reject you? Chun Xiang asked. There are a total of 36 elders in Dragon Elephant School, so the relationship between these 36 elders is not very good. Elder sister's parents and a portion of the elders did not get along, and there are also some who are selfish. If you want to learn other fusion spell, you will need the consent of at least 30 elders before leader can hand over the fusion spell. Xianxia explained. Wouldn't it be fine if we just give each of them 1 crystal emperor? Chun Xiang curled his lips. This shouldn't be difficult, right? A piece of crystal emperor. Send it to someone who needs it for food. Luer stuck out her tongue. Those elders want Tao Creation Holy Stone, and they want high-grade Tao Creation Holy Stone. They need at least 20 pieces. Chun Xiang shook his head and sighed. By doing this, these elders are hindering the development of the sect. In this way, no disciples will be able to learn even more fusion spell. Wouldn't the sect disciples become weaker and weaker? How can you compete with other sects? That's not it, because every once in a while, there will be a competition or something like that. Through competition, the top 10 in strength will be able to learn a fusion spell. Xiao Xianglin said, it's just that I missed it quite a few times. My parents didn't even let me go, saying it was too dangerous. In that case, wouldn't you be a lot younger than your peers? Xianxia thought back to the bewitching girls that Xianglin had mocked and ridiculed previously. Those were all palace main disciples and were all able to participate in the competition. Yes, among our peers there are already quite a few who have mastered the 4th stage of fusion spell, but I am still at the 3rd stage. When using the power of the dragon elephant in battle, I will be weaker than them, but I will absolutely not lose to them. When Xianglin mentioned this matter, he was brooding over it, but he also felt very helpless. Because in every competition, she was always stopped by her parents, which led to her missing out. Her parents were more powerful and thought they could protect their daughter, so they stopped her from taking the risk. Xianxia finally understood why there were 8 dragon elephants protecting Xianglin when she went out. Then teach me the fusion spell now. Xianxia said, I have the foundation to learn the Tao Creation's incantations. I should be able to grasp it quickly. I don't know you. In short, my sister and I studied for dozens of years before we mastered the first one. Xianxia said, It took me 100 or 200 years to learn all 3 of them. Big sister's learning speed is the fastest. She's done in 3 years. Yuer said. Xianxia felt that by relying on the time domain, he could probably learn one in a day. Actually, fusion spell are very useful. They should be able to help you refine pills. In short, it would be of great help to me when refining and setting up the formation. You should learn very quickly because these 2 girls did not learn the basics of the Tao Creation incantation, so they took a long time to master it. Xianglin said. Xianxia nodded. After that, Xianglin turned into 3 Tao Creation's incantations and said, These are 3 fusion spell. You should be able to tell the simplest is a 1st stage fusion spell. Even the simplest fusion spell had 6 strokes. The 2nd stage increase spell that Xianxia had learned before only had 2 strokes at most. Xianxia looked through the Tao Creation's incantation inside the 6 realms mirrors and found the 9 6 strokes Tao Creation's incantation. The first 3 simple incantations were exactly the same as the 3 inscriptions that Xianglin drew. In other words, he had a whole set of fusion spells inside, all level 1 to 9. This made him very happy. The 4th stage is the flying mantra and the 5th stage is the sound wave incantation. The sound wave incantation is at the 5th stage and should be very strong. You must learn it well when you have time. After Xianglin drew 3 fusion spell, he took out 3 transparent water spar slabs. Inside, there were 3 carved fusion spells and said, Take them back and learn according to this. As for how you want to learn it, I don't think I need to teach you. Xianglin patted Xianxia's head and laughed. My good disciple, you will definitely not disappoint me. I should be able to learn it soon. Xianxia said. Once you have mastered the fusion spell, I will teach you how to use it and allow you to fuse the 2 souls of the dragon and elephant. Xianglin went close to Xianxia's ear and whispered, Good disciple, if you perform well, Master can give these 2 girls to you. In any case, we are now family. When Xianxia and Yuer heard it, their faces flushed red and they whispered, No, if it's you, Master, then I definitely won't refuse. Xianxia evilly smiled, and then quickly kissed Xianglin's beautiful cherry lips. Xianglin had already moved her head next to Xianxia. She really did not expect Xianxia to be so bold as to actually kiss her little mouth. When Xianxia and Yuer saw it, although they were surprised, they were gloating in their hearts, because their big sister's first kiss had been snatched away by one of her disciples. I will beat you to death. Xianglin waved his palm and shouted loudly, but he did not continue the attack. Master, beat me to death. Xianxia looked indifferent. Xianglin was so angry that his face was flushed red. After that, Xianxia let out a scream that sounded like a pig being butchered, and angrily left with the 2 beautiful female slaves. Kuer, when you have time, help me refine a soft armor that can protect your waist. Xianxia touched the area that was in pain, and said, I wonder how many more times I'll need to be pinched by her. You asked for it. Kuer swung his sword in the Yu Yao mountain villa and played with Long Shui very happily. A heartless little girl, Xianxia said as his mouth twitched. He then released the time domain to learn the fusion spell. Xianxia looked at the 6 strokes fusion spell and felt a bit of pain. The space mantra that Fengkur had directly learned 3 strokes back then must definitely be in the same mood as him. The Tao Creation's incantation he had previously learned only had 2 strokes, but he had also learned it very painstakingly, let alone the fact that he had to learn a few strokes of the Tao Creation's incantation. Would it be easier to learn the 6 strokes of the Tao Creation's curse after going back to the previous one? Xianxia thought to himself. Right now, he could only bite the bullet and go learn. At the start, Xianxia felt that it was very complicated and he had a headache. It was unknown when he would start to learn this, but he felt that it was a little boring. It was only until he mastered the first stage of fusion spell that he finally withdrew from the serious state of study out of joy. I've finally learned a fusion spell. It seems like not much time has passed. Xianxia estimated the time that had passed by himself. He had only used around 10 years of time, and felt that he could still continue learning because not even a day had passed outside. Following that, he began to learn the second technique. He liked Xianxia a lot, because Xianxia learned fusion spell very quickly. In fact, it was mainly because Xianxia had started learning the Tao Creation's incantations since she was very young, which laid a solid foundation for her. When Xianxia was learning the second fusion spell, he required a lot more time than before. Even he himself did not expect it to be so difficult. It was only a second-stage fusion spell, but he actually used nearly 50 years of time. It's not really that long ago. It's said that Xianxia and Luer, these 2 girls, took almost 200 years to master the 3 of them. I think I should be a little better off than them. Xianxia had thought that it would be easier for him to learn the fusion spell, since he had mastered some of the Tao Creation's incantations. However, it wasn't easy at all. Could it be that I don't have the talent to learn the Tao Creation's incantations? He could only make up for it with time. For Xianxia to actually learn a Tao Creation's incantation in 3 years for a woman is simply frightening. Xianxia secretly exclaimed. Xianxia decided to learn 3 fusion spell first before talking. At least this will allow him to be good in Dragon Elephant School. After 80-odd years had passed, Xianxia had mastered the 3rd fusion spell. After calculating the time, it seemed like 150 years wasn't too slow, but he felt that it wasn't any faster than Xianxia's 2 female slaves. All right, I probably do not have the talent to learn the Tao Creation's incantation, which is why I was able to grasp it so slowly. Xianxia planned to ask Xianxia about it after he left to see how long she had taken to master the 3 Tao Creation's incantations. Xianxia felt that these 3 fusion spell were very powerful. Originally, he had planned to directly learn the 9th stage fusion spell S, but after thinking about it, the 9th stage Tao Creation incantation was very complicated. If he did not have the foundation in front of him, maybe he would need to use a few thousand of you to learn it. Learning Tao Creation's incantations was also a gradual process, and every level of Tao Creation's incantations could be stacked together. If used properly, one could stack together all 3 fusion spells. Rank 1, Rank 2, Rank 3 and Rank 2. Xianxia had also said before that it wouldn't be easy to perfectly superimpose it either. It would take a very long time to master, and she had used a very long time back then. Xianxia didn't know how to make the Dragon Elephant Holy Soul fuse together, but he took out 2 Crystal Emperors and carved a first-order fusion spell into each of them. Then, he placed the 2 Crystal Emperors together. He saw that at the instant the Crystal Emperor touched it, the fusion spell that was just carved out suddenly shone forth with a burst of light, and then, the 2 Crystal Emperor began to stick together as if sucked in each other, and then began to fuse together. The process of the fusion was extremely slow. If one did not look carefully, it was impossible to notice that the fusion was in progress. Xianxia reckoned that based on the fusion speed, it would take at least a month. Could it be because the fusion spell is only at the 1st rank? Xianxia pondered for a while, and then he engraved a level 2 fusion spell onto the Crystal Emperor, superimposing it onto the 1st stage. He had mastered superimposing the 1st level of the incantation, wind, fire, lightning, and any other incantations. Now that he had used these fusion spell, it was very easy for him to superimpose and combine them. It's a bit faster. Xianxia could clearly see that the 2 Crystal Emperor were fusing, but he felt that it wasn't fast enough. According to their current speed, they would still need an entire day to finish fusing. Xianxia then stacked rank 3 fusion spells on top of each other and went in. The speed at which the 2 Crystal Emperor were fusing with each other had increased by a lot. He predicted that he would be able to succeed in 2 hours. However, in his heart he was anticipating an instant fusion. If you were to join the level 4 fusion spell, it would definitely be faster. Xianxia secretly thought as he saw the 2 Crystal Emperors fuse with each other. 2 hours had passed, and the 2 Crystal Emperor had fused together was only the size of a Crystal Emperor. Only by fusing with it like this would the quality of the Crystal Emperor improve. If I were to continue this limitless fusion, I wonder what the result would be? Xianxia's heart skipped a beat. He had a large number of Crystal Emperor, so he felt that he could give it a try. There should be a limit to the quality of Crystal Emperor, Feng Kur said. She had thought of this question before because she also wanted to make the best use of a large number of Crystal Emperor. If the Crystal Emperor continued to improve, what would happen in the end? Xianxia was extremely curious. Will it evolve into something even more powerful? With the fusion spell, Xianxia did not need to use pill refining to enhance the quality of the Crystal Emperor. That would need more time and would also make him more tired. I don't know. I'll only know after trying. I might as well wait until you go out and ask that beautiful little master of yours. Su Meiyao laughed. I've only been here for 2 days, and I already went out to tell him that I learned 3 fusion spell? Xianxia curled his lips. I'll scare her to death. That's right. She's so pretty. You can't bear to scare her to death, right? Long Shui laughed. Xianxia kept the piece of Crystal Emperor and released the time domain. Right now, he had to master more increase spell because increase spell were extremely useful. Although it was only the 2nd incantation, it could greatly increase its power. He felt that when refining Crystal Emperor, the effects might be better if he added in the increase spell. Right now, he needed to refine an even more powerful curse pill. Xianxia had thought that it would be relatively easy for him to learn the 2nd stage of the increase spell after learning 3 6th-stage fusion spell. But he wasn't. He was very sure now that he didn't have the talent to learn the Tao Creation's incantation, so he could only take it slowly. Looks like I'll need a lot of time. Xianxia needed to learn the Tao Creation incantation, which was useful for pill refining. The 2nd stage of the Tao Creation's incantation took a few hundred years. Even if he did not feel the passage of time when he was studying, he would always have a headache after learning. He felt that he needed a period of time before he could study, so he was not so bored. He took out some of the Blood Devil Shark's blood and then began to refine it. He was going to refine it into the 9th stage of increase spell. After he mastered all the increase spell, Xianxia would obviously want to see how effective it would be. Moreover, he would need to eat some of the Blood Shark Fitness Danes before he can do that. Xianxia, if you want to step into the peak of Aoshi Holy Stage, you need a strong body, and Blood Shark Fitness Dan is the best choice. Once your body has more or less improved, your world-defying Holy Soul will not be restricted by your weak body, and when that time comes, you can consume the pellet used to level up your world-defying Holy Soul, and you will be able to break through. He Fengyuan said. Xianxia almost forgot that He Fengyuan was inside his 6 realms mirrors. After I go out, I will ask my beautiful young master if she has any pills to help her level up her world-defying Holy Soul. At that time, I will see if I can get some pill formulas to refine more. Xianxia said. Give it to me, and I'll be able to consume the pill formula. He Fengyuan said. Back then, when I followed my father, I had tasted many medicinal ingredients. If you refined it with medicinal materials you've never eaten before, would you be able to taste it? Xianxia curled his lips and said, You want to eat some pills to recover your strength, right? That's right. He Fengyuan said, You can rest assured, once I recover my strength, I will not be your opponent, and at that time, you will definitely step into an even higher realm. All right, we'll talk about it when the time comes. Xianxia knew that the high-ranking alchemists here were still very powerful. Their position was not low, and only the weak 6 realms mirrors would be enslaved. When Xianxia was refining the Blood Shark Fitness Dan, he had stacked the increase spell of the 1st stage on top of the other 2, and he was even refining 2 at the same time. When he was using the proud power of the world to condense the increase spell, he could condense 2 groups at the same time, and that way he could be carved into the 2 Bloodshark fitness stand. It had already been a month since he carved the increase spell S of the 1st to 9th stages into the half-formed 2 Bloodshark fitness stand S. Now, he was starting to condense the pellets. It was very easy to condense the pellet. The increase spell did not let the Bloodshark fitness stand become very berserk. He had carved the blending wrinkles on the 2 pellets. He wanted to fuse the 2 pellets together, so he wanted to see if the fusion spell was helpful in refining the pellets. After being used by Xianxia, the quality of Bloodshark fitness stand had greatly improved. Now that he had fused with these 2 Bloodshark fitness stand, the quality would definitely be even higher. After he had formed the fusion spell, he wanted to inscribe the 9th stage of increase spell after fusing them. However, he did not succeed after trying. After fusing with the 2 pellets in the span of an hour, the blood-red Bloodshark fitness stand had started to radiate with gold light, and its quality had risen by a lot. Xianxia suspected that the pellet was already a Tao Creation Divine pellet, but it was only an inferior grade one. "I'll have a look myself." Xianxia ate 1 pellet. It was not easy for him to refine one. It took him around 2 months to refine it, but the energy consumption was not too much. He just needed time to condense the Tao Creation incantation. The Bloodshark fitness stand S were a type of extremely strong stone, and when the energy inside is absorbed by the human body, the body would also become extremely strong. After Xianxia ate the incantation Bloodshark fitness stand, the dense Tao Creation holy stone gushed out. This effect shocked him to his very core. "This is great. If I can get a lot of these pills, then my fleshly body will definitely get much stronger." Xianxia decided to refine a large amount of time domain. After refining the pill here, Xianxia immediately entered into the time domain and refined 1 pellet. He gave it to Jiang Lizi to eat and let her see how many pellets she needed to evolve. "I need to eat about 30 pills. This kind of pill is of high quality," Jiang Lizi exclaimed after eating it. "Only 30 pills? This is too easy." Xianxia heaved a sigh of relief. This was merely a matter of him activating the 2nd stage of the time domain for 2 days. After Xianxia finished refining the 30 incantation Bloodshark fitness stand in the time domain, it had only been 5 days outside. After Jiang Lizi finished refining the 30 incantation Bloodshark fitness stand, he quickly evolved and formed the incantation Bloodshark fitness stand. Xianxia placed the 3 young girl Danling into the time domain, and they all evolved very quickly. This way, they could condense 6 pellets every day. Previously, they were condensing Crystal Emperor, but now Xianxia needed them to eat incantation Bloodshark fitness stand S, so they did not condense Crystal Emperor S anymore. Xianxia didn't use the time domain now, but rather gave the power of the time domain to Fengkuer and the other girls to learn the useful Tao Creation incantation. Amongst the Tao Creation's incantations, the most useful were the 2nd stage increase spell S, which was something that they had to master. In this Tao Creation place, there were many Tao Creation's divine weapons that were refined by Holy Stone S. It was impossible for him to not have a good body, at least when he was struck by the Tao Creation's divine weapons. His body would not be as broken as paper. Xianxia had cultivated in the secret room for 3 years, and he had learnt the 4th stage of fusion spell S. The few women in Yuyao Mountain Villa had also mastered all the Tao Creation's incantations, and now that they had also stepped into the late stage of Aoshi Holy Stage, they began to eat the incantation Bloodshark fitness stand S to improve their physical bodies. On the other hand, Su Meiyao had an even more important matter. It was to continuously fuse Crystal Emperor S together and see what would happen in the end. Xianxia walked out of the secret room. Although he had only learned 4 fusion spell S, he had benefited greatly from it, for he discovered that when the 2 Crystal Emperor fused together, if he added in the incantation of the 4th step, the quality would increase slightly compared to the 3rd step. Although it was only a little, but if he added in all the fusion spell S behind, the quality would increase even more. Now he understood why he needed to add more fusion spell to the dragon and elephant fusion so they could become stronger. "My precious disciple has finally come out. I thought you would come out to take a breather every 2 or 3 months or even a few months, but you actually locked yourself up for so long." Seeing Xianxia coming out, Xiao Xianglin anxiously walked over. In this past year, she seemed to miss Xianxia a little. After all, she had just accepted a disciple, and this disciple had closed up for a year. What Xiao Xianglin did not know was that Chun Xiang had already stayed in the time domain for a few hundred years. Chun Xiang looked at Xiao Xianglin and the others. They were all wearing black tight clothes, and it looked like they were about to fight. "Where are you going?" Chun Xiang said as he furrowed his brows. "Could it be that there's some sort of competition in the sect?" "No, the competition is not that important. This is the most important matter right now. If it wasn't for the fact that we were waiting for you, we would have already gone with the big team." Xianxia pouted and said, "You truly didn't shut your mouth like this. What is so important? If it's so important, why don't you just come in?" Chun Xiang was extremely curious. Why did the Dragon Elephant School send out such a large team? Xiao Xianglin tossed a set of clothes to Chun Xiang, also a set of black tight clothing. "Hurry up and change. Then we'll set off." Xiao Xianglin said, "We do not know what you are doing in seclusion. If we disturb your good fortune, wouldn't we be scolded to death by you then?" Chun Xiang threw the set of black clothes back to Xiao Xianglin and laughed. "I don't need to change." "Why? After changing clothes, we can move around in the night. It's more convenient," Xiao Xianglin said. Chun Xiang's heart stirred as he used the transformation art, causing his clothes to immediately turn black. "Look, didn't I already change? Fine. You actually mastered this kind of evil technique. Consider yourself powerful." Xiao Xianglin put away that set of clothes, turned around and walked out of the room. "We need to hurry up and set off." Chun Xiang also didn't have the time to figure out what was going on. As he had already started sprinting, he could only follow behind Xiao Xianglin and run out of the Dragon Elephant School. After arriving outside of the Dragon Elephant School, Xiao Xianglin released 2 large dragon elephants. They were no longer the mighty dragon elephant she had previously. After Chun Xiang entered the carriage, "Why didn't your parents give you the dragon and elephant?" "Because they went to that place too. Dragons and elephants are what they must fight for," Xiao Xianglin said. "Usually when they are in Dragon Elephant School, they can lend it to me and let me pull the carriage. Aren't you their precious daughter? How could they bear to let you go like this?" Chun Xiang felt the carriage being dragged in the air and started to move quickly. "I sneaked out. Don't worry about me," Xiao Xianglin said. "I definitely have to go there." "What is it you haven't told me yet?" Chun Xiang curled his lips and said. Xiao Xianglin looked at Xianxia, gesturing for her to speak. "Chun Xiang, have you heard of legendary mantra?" Xianxia asked. "I've never heard of it. I know very little about the Tao Creation's incantations." Chun Xiang shook his head. "Then you must have heard of Luo Zhiyang," Xianxia said again. When Luo Zhiyang was mentioned, Qin Shuang, who was inside the Yu Yao mountain villa, was shocked. Because Luo Zhiyang was her grandfather, super young old ancestor. "I've heard of it." Chun Xiang's face became serious. "What's wrong?" Luo Zhiyang suddenly appeared. His relationship with Elder Gutong is very good. He suddenly appeared in Dragon Elephant School and told Elder Gutong that he found a legendary mantra, and told Elder Gutong to go with him. Chun Xiang took a deep breath. Luo Zhiyang had actually appeared, and was even saying that it was some kind of legendary Tao Creation incantation. "What exactly is a legendary mantra?" Chun Xiang asked. "It's a very powerful Tao Creation incantation. Normally, there are only 9 types of Tao Creation incantations, and all 9 of them are at the 9th stage. However, legendary mantra is not one of the 9, and they are only at the 1st stage of the Tao Creation incantation, but they are extremely powerful," Xianxia said. "So the Tao Creation's incantation still has so much knowledge." Chun Xiang nodded. He was more concerned about Luo Zhiyang now, because Qin Shuang was extremely anxious about this matter. He did not know if he would be able to see Luo Zhiyang again. "It's quite far from here. They have already set off for 2 months, and the other sects have also found out about this, so they have all set out with all their might." Xiao Xianglin said, "We are the last. All right, it's all because of me. I'm sorry." Chun Xiang also blamed himself. If he had come out earlier, he might have been able to keep up with the group and meet Luo Zhiyang. "Too slow," Xiao Xianglin continued to complain. "If I had your parents' 8 dragons elephant, would I have borrowed it faster?" Chun Xiang asked. "That won't happen. The dragon and elephant are larger in size, and they aren't beasts that can move very fast. Xiao Xianglin shook his head. If there were dragon-controlling palaces, we might not have come here too late. Really? Chen Xiang's brows twitched. He actually had a dragon horse. Black dragon horse have the blood of a black wind dragon and a lightning horse. Naturally, their speed is extremely fast. Xiao Xianglin said, "It's a pity that this kind of thing is unique to dragon-controlling palace." "It's not unique to dragon-controlling palace. I have two of them." Xiao Xianglin and the others, as master and servant, knew many secrets about him, such as the Azure Dragon, ground-suppressing immortal elephant, and pill-refining skills. As such, they were not afraid of being found out that he had a black dragon horse. After all, Xiao Xianglin was Chen Xiang's master. Even though they hadn't known each other for long and the two of them would often bicker with each other, they had a similar relationship. Chen Xiang let out the two black dragon horses out. "This is the dragon-controlling palace's black dragon horse? Where did you get it from?" Xiao Xianglin cried out in alarm, while Xiang'er and Yuer were dumbstruck. "It's not from the dragon-controlling palace. As for where I got it from, you don't need to worry about it." "Do you dare to use it now?" Chen Xiang asked. "Liar. There's clearly the dragon-controlling palace's mark on it." Xiao Xianglin pointed to the place on the horse's neck that had a finger-size O mark. Chen Xiang had not noticed it before. "All right. It's from dragon-controlling palace." Chen Xiang curled his lips. "I killed two of the weaker dragon-controlling gods and tamed their black dragon horse. You guys better not talk about it anywhere." Xiao Xianglin frowned. "You really are reckless. You actually dare to kill the people from dragon-controlling palace. You are truly bold. I have even touched a black dragon horse at such a close distance." Xiang'er had already walked up and was stroking the black dragon horse. "Don't you guys go around blabbering," Chen Xiang warned once again. "We're not idiots, of course we wouldn't talk nonsense." Xiao Xianglin said, "But for you, don't show off normally." Xiang'er said, "Is there any way to change the color of these two dragon horse? If we use them, and the dragon-controlling palace discovers us, it would be troublesome." Xiao Xianglin pinched Xiang'er's face. "Idiot, we can't use this black dragon horse, just in case. If dragon-controlling palace finds out, the consequences will be dire." Chen Xiang thought for a while, then said, "All right, how about this?" He used counterpower on the two black dragon horse, causing them to become invisible. This way, no one could see the black dragon horse anymore. But the black dragon horse still existed. Chen Xiang also wanted to quickly go to that place so that he could meet Luo Jiang sooner. That was why he was the fastest to use black dragon horse. Xiao Xianglin had long been no longer surprised by Chen Xiang's methods. She herself had the same thoughts as Chen Xiang, and had no choice but to agree. Right now, it was Chen Xiang and Yuer who were riding on the same black dragon horse. Xiao Xianglin and Xiang'er who were on the same side. When Chen Xiang suggested to ride the same horse as her, she knew what Chen Xiang was planning. Luer was not too worried that Chen Xiang would take advantage of her. In any case, she had already made the appointment. After all, she was a female slave. But, to her disappointment, Chen Xiang did not take advantage of her. Actually, Chen Xiang was mainly thinking about the matter of Luo Jiang, the super young old ancestor, and had been communicating with him, discussing how he would be able to meet with Luo Jiang at that time. "So many years have passed. I wonder how my grandfather is now." Qin Shuang replied, "I'm very worried that he has already changed." "Probably not. Since he's still Gu Tong's friend, it means that he hasn't changed." Chen Xiang laughed. "Xiao Shuang, you should have some confidence in your grandfather." Chen Xiang understood what Qin Shuang was worried about. She was worried that her grandfather would change his feelings for some reason, such as cultivating some kind of cultivation technique to make himself cold and heartless, to the point where he wouldn't recognize any of her relatives. Or was his soul taken over by some evil force? This sort of thing was no longer surprising. Qin Shuang had not seen her grandfather for many years, and she was worried about him, because if he stayed in the ancient fire divine sect for too long, it would cause one's emotions to fade. "I must find him this time," Qin Shuang said. When grandmother first heard about what happened on the other side of world-defying stage Soul River, her expression was very strange. It's already very close. I will definitely succeed this time. Chun Xiang comforted Qin Shuang. The black dragon horse was flying in the air and had already become invisible. So from below, Chun Xiang, Xiao Xianglin and the other two looked very strange as they flew in the air. Chun Xiang and Luer rode together, but the speed of the black dragon horse wasn't slow at all. Furthermore, they didn't feel crowded at all. Xiao Xianglin, who was standing at the side, watched dumbstruck all this while. She had thought that Chun Xiang would make a move on Yuer, but he was so honest that she scolded him secretly in her heart. She thought that Chun Xiang was pretending to be innocent. When Chun Xiang came back to his senses, he asked, "How much longer before we arrive?" Xiao Xianglin thought for a while. "About 2 more days or so, and it's already really fast. This black dragon horse is really fast." When Chun Xiang was at the 5th floor's world-defying stage Soul River, he had already seen the speed of the black dragon horse. Thus, at that time, he had already made up his mind to subdue one black dragon horse. "That's right." Chun Xiang laughed and hugged the beautiful, fragrant slave girl, making him feel extremely comfortable, even though he didn't have any intentions of hugging the girl. "Chun Xiang, keep the black dragon horse when you get close to that place. Maybe the dragon controlling palace has also sent a large group to go there." Xiao Xianglin said, "Even though you used a secret technique to make the black dragon horse disappear, the people from Dragon Controlling Palace might be able to sense it. I understand. When the time comes, I will definitely be careful." Right now, Chun Xiang was still a little worried that the Dragon Controlling Palace would come looking for him. Although the Dragon Controlling Palace didn't say on the surface that he would not snatch the dragon from the bodies of the disciples of the top 10 sects. But who would know that? It was a good thing that he did not reveal his own Azure Dragon. Otherwise, if the Dragon Controlling Palace found out, they would definitely attack him. "Master, what kind of place is that? Is there a problem with my strength going there?" Chun Xiang asked. "Don't worry, Xianger and Yuer can protect you." Xiao Xianglin said, "We are just going to watch the show and see if we can get lucky enough to get the legendary mantra. Yeah, we're just going to broaden our horizons. The legendary mantra can just think about it." She didn't know why, but as she leaned into Chun Xiang's embrace, she felt a strange, comfortable feeling. It was the first time she had come into such intimate contact with a man. Even though Yuer was a world-defying stage divine rank, she was still a female slave. Furthermore, since a young age, even though her cultivation was higher than Chun Xiang's, she had a lower position than him. Furthermore, Chun Xiang was very capable. She felt that it was not bad to be able to interact so intimately with such a man. Xiao Xianglin saw that Yuer seemed to enjoy Chun Xiang's embrace a lot, and scolded in his heart that this little girl, who had a heart of spring, was actually taking advantage of Chun Xiang. How could Chun Xiang not know her thoughts? He never expected that little maid would dare to come in such a way. It was fortunate that he was a man with firm determination. He would not be easily bewitched by little maid. The place where the legendary mantra appeared at was called Headless Mountain. Xiao Xianglin looked at the mountains in front of him. "The mountains here still have mountains, so we haven't arrived yet. Could it be that all the mountains in the Headless Mountain range don't have mountains?" Chun Xiang said. "Yes, even the mountains look as if they were cut by humans. Mountains of this size and size look exactly like this. That's why the Headless Mountain range is very easy to identify." After the black dragon horse flew for 2 days, just as Xiao Xianglin had expected, they had already arrived at the Headless Mountain range. As expected, Chun Xiang saw that many of the mountain peaks were sliced in half, and all the mountains here, big and small, were like this. It was extremely strange. Chun Xiang let the 2 black dragon horse land on the ground. Then he put them away. "What's next? You guys can arrange it." Chun Xiang had been taken advantage of by Wu Er, this beautiful female slave, these past 2 days, and he felt that he had suffered a huge loss. Gli got down from the black dragon horse and proudly walked to Xiao Xianglin's side. She was pinching Xiao Xianglin's buttocks, but she only stuck out her tongue lightly, her face still filled with pride. "You will suffer a huge loss if we take it back next time." Su Meiyao laughed. I didn't expect that you would be at a disadvantage one day. Long Shui chuckled. Xiao Xianglin did not mention this matter. With a serious face, he said, "We have to carefully go in now. During the day, you can use it to rest, but at night, you can use it to quickly move forward." Why? Chun Xiang did not understand. Because there must be a lot of Dragon Elephant school spies along the way. I can't let them find out I'm here, otherwise, when I see my parents, I will be scolded to death. Xiao Xianglin snorted lightly. I even thought that there was something extraordinary in this headless mountain range that made you be so careful. So it turns out to be a spy. Chen Xiang was stunned. The spies in the Dragon Elephant School have communication jade symbol paper. The communication jade symbol paper was refined into a space mantra and can quickly transmit information to me. If they were to head towards me, my parents would definitely know immediately and stop me from entering. Xiao Xianglin said, "You can just change your appearance for a bit." Chun Xiang replied, "It's nothing serious. The scouts are very powerful. Even if they disguised themselves, they would still recognize me." Xiao Xianglin shook her head. She had obviously been caught by these spies many times. Chun Xiang sighed and said, "You are my most useless master." Xiao Xianglin was unconvinced. "What do you mean? I don't have the ability? Do you still have a lot of masters before this?" Chun Xiang did indeed have several masters. "Master, you brought your disciple out to gain experience. How can you be so sneaky? If you don't feel aggrieved, even I, as your disciple, feel very aggrieved. You are now a person who has a disciple, and not a spoiled brat like before. You must show your tyranny as a teacher." Chun Xiang said snappily. "That day when you were riding on your 8 dragon elephants, how domineering were you? What happened to your power and influence on the 10th floor? Where did they all go? Did you feed the dogs?" Being scolded by Chun Xiang, although Xiao Xianglin was furious, she could not say anything. She was not afraid of anything, but she was afraid of her parents. Chun Xiang hugged his chest and curled his lips. "I'm already so much more domineering than you. I'm not afraid by that much." Xiao Xianglin patted Chun Xiang's chest and shouted, "All right, then what do you think we should do?" "How?" "Of course it's to release your 2 great dragon elephants and drag your huge carriage inside. Who would dare to be cocky in front of you? You can just scold them." Chun Xiang replied, "Using the most arrogant words to reply to those who come to block our path, no matter who it is." With that, Chun Xiang anxiously said, "No, I should let Yuer or Xianger speak arrogantly. Master does not speak, and only let the female servant by my side speak arrogantly. That way I can act even more arrogantly." Xiao Xianglin thought for a while. In order to not let her disciple look down on her, she could only bite the bullet and do it. She snorted, then said to the 2 beautiful female slaves, "You 2 little girls should have heard it already. When that time comes, no matter how arrogant you are, just pull as much as you can." "Got it," Luer and Xianger said in unison. It was rare that their big sister had such a domineering attitude. Fiction. Xiao Xianglin released his 2 dragon elephants and sighed. "These 2 girls' dragon elephants are too small, and I only have 2 dragon elephants, so I don't have enough momentum." Chun Xiang thought for a while, before releasing a dozen heaven-devouring rats, and said, "Let's use this thing." Just as Xiao Xianglin wanted to say, "This is it," he saw that the dozens of heaven-devouring rat had suddenly grown big and looked exactly like her dragon elephant. "It just can't fly." Chun Xiang laughed. "Do you have any ideas?" "I told my dragon elephant to release a flying domain. As long as it's something within the domain, it can float. These rats, it's just a show." Xiao Xianglin touched the dragon elephants that the heaven-devouring rat had turned into and laughed. "They look pretty good." Heaven-devouring rats could increase along with Chun Xiang's strength. Currently, heaven-devouring rats were all at the peak of world-defying crazy realm or the early stages of Aoshi holy stage, so they were not too weak. "Chun Xiang, you really have all sorts of methods." The mischievous lure had already jumped onto the back of the heaven-devouring rat dragon elephant and felt that she was no different from a real dragon elephant. Just like this, Xiao Xianglin used the 16 dragon elephants to pull the carriage and flew in the air. 16 dragon elephants pulling a carriage. It seems like there has never been one before. Xianxia stood in front of the carriage house door and looked at the 16 mighty dragon and elephant, which were like small hills, and laughed. Only 2 are real, Xianxia said. Enough, just scare them. Who doesn't know that we are from the dragon elephant sect? Could it be that they really dare to go up? Yuer said. The disciples of the 10 great sects usually only had a little conflict. There had never been any kind of violent conflict before. The dragon elephant sect itself was an alliance with the Tao creation. So Gutong had always been inside the dragon elephant gate. Elder Gutong often comes to our dragon elephant sect. Elder Gutong also has a very high position in the Tao creation. Even the leader has to be respectful to him. No one dares to bully our dragon elephant sect. Xianxia nodded his head. I don't know why, but not long after he arrived at our dragon elephant's gate, Luo Zhuoyang arrived. Could it be that they made an agreement? Xianxia said, Your dragon elephant clan has mastered unique fusion spell. It is very clear that Gutong frequently comes to this series of doors for the sake of the fusion spell. That's possible. However, Elder Gutong is a good person, and will often guide our dragon elephant sect's disciples in refining. Xianxia said. The reason why Xianxia went to the Tao creation's door was to see Gutong, but he didn't think that he would be able to see Gutong in the dragon and elephant's door. He was currently Xianxia's disciple, so he might be able to see Gutong more often. At the bottom of the headless mountain range, there were a few dragon and elephant scouts hiding in the trees. When they saw a large black mass flying over from the sky, they took a careful look and could not help but take deep breaths. What's going on? Was that the dragon elephant I saw just now? 16 dragon elephants. You're not wrong. It's just 16 dragon elephants. Although they have restrained their aura, you can still feel the aura of a dragon elephant. That car looks very familiar. It's from senior sister Xianxia. Why does she have 16 dragon elephants? That's impossible. Her parents are both elders and the main force of the army this time. They have their dragon and elephant with them, so it's impossible for them to lend them to her. Right, didn't the elders say so? This senior sister Xiao has come. She wants to immediately inform him and then block senior sister Xiao from entering into the depths of the mountain. It was not only the dragon elephant door's spies that saw it. The spies from the other sects, families, dragon-controlling palace and other forces also saw the domineering 16 dragon elephants pulling the caravan in the sky. They were not spies from the dragon elephant door and were not familiar with Xianxia's caravan. They only thought that the old geezers from the dragon elephant door had arrived and sent messages back to him. The spies of the dragon elephant's door did not know what was going on, but the higher-ups had given the order, so they could only go and stop them. A few spies released their own dragon elephant and then rode it into the sky. Senior sister Xiao, is that you? Junior martial brother Wu Zhong, you are ordered to receive senior martial sister Xiao here. A black-clothed man said. On whose orders? Xianxia asked coldly. Senior sister Zhao's father, Elder Xiao, Wu Zhong hurriedly said. He could tell that it was Xianxia's voice, who among the male disciples inside the dragon and elephant gate did not know that Xianxia was always accompanied by Xianxia and Yuer, these 2 beautiful female slaves. After all, she was a disciple of his clan. Xianxia sent a sound transmission to Xianxia, telling her not to be so arrogant, so that she wouldn't meet him in the future and act normal. Understood. Thank you for receiving us. We need to hurry to the depths of the mountain range, Xianxia said. At this time, Wu Zhong received a reply from Xianxia's father, Elder Xiao. Let them through. Wu Zhong did not know what had happened, so he moved aside, but after he did, he saw that there were a few people approaching from the distance, who were stepping on divine swords. Xiang could already see that there was someone he was extremely familiar with inside, the white-clothed man who had been slashed apart by him.